Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I have the distinct pleasure of being joined by two people that go back to my childhood days, Kai and Kayla, and we will be discussing I was about to say the dark side of Christian fundamentalism, but I mean the whole thing is dark. There's no light side to this whatsoever. So I don't know why I would bother making that distinction, but I thank you guys for coming on. I think this will be a productive conversation / conversations that we can have. And before we get started, I'll give you a little chance to introduce yourselves. Just a short intro, telling us your name, where you guys went to Christian schools, and you know just a short synopsis of the ones you attended. For example, I'll give you like my name's TJ. I know you guys all know that, but I went to Maranatha Baptist Academy as for high school. Wild, right? And I went to Maranatha Baptist Bible College, no relation, same name. Schools are not related whatsoever. Wow. In Wisconsin. And yeah, that's my experience. I think you guys attended a few more than I did. We'll start with Kai. Where did you attend Christian schools?
I attended school in Connecticut, and in Georgia, but they were Christian schools, not IFB Christian schools. And I think it's important to make that like distinction between the two. Because I think that there are incredible Christian schools that do things right. And then I think the IFB doesn't. Because if I had kids, like, I would send them to the Christian school I went to in Georgia because it was top notch. Like, I couldn't say an unkind thing about it if I tried. But then we moved to Missouri and we somehow found ourselves in Maranatha, obviously, where you two went. And then we were homeschooled, but we played volleyball for Landmark Baptist Church and attended that church and school in Rolla. So only two that were like IFB problematic.
All right. You mentioned Landmark. I was like, man, where is that?
You mentioned Landmark too.
Yeah, I was like, man, I know that church.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kayla, how about yourself?
Oh, we're gonna come back to Landmark. I kind of forgot about that too.
Me too.
Oh wow. Okay, so I gotta get out notes from mine, guys.
It's all right. It's all right.
I'm gonna be way less formal than you guys, because I'm nervous. But my name's Kayla. We already said that. I started out at Maranatha, so we were just talking about this on before we got on. But I was like picked up part of a bus ministry of some sort around like 1998 and all that stuff. So I was in and out of Maranatha, but we did that through like 2000, and then 2000 to 2001, my family moved to Fort Bragg. And then I did attend some of those more like kind of normal schools, and I'm glad you did make that distinction, Kai, because there are some that are like, they're pretty chill. They're fine. Like Village Christian Academy in Fayetteville, I attended that. It was pretty okay. At the time, I did another one, Berean Baptist Academy. I have a list. Back to Maranatha, Northview in Fayetteville, North Carolina. That one's definitely IFB. You'll have to let me like make these distinctions later, but that's just a few of them. And then I was sent away. My parents gave up custody of me in 2006 and sent me to this place called the Shenandoah Haven for Girls. Yeah, you have to like, it's a custody thing. It's a lot of money too to give up custody of your kid, and then it's like
they gave up custody of you, like legally.
I don't understand. Yeah. I need to clarify that I have not like seen the paperwork and stuff like that. My mom feels like she definitely has it. A lot of this information I want to share with you about the Haven is just us comparing notes, but like I'm 90% sure that there was some kind of like, because they moved us up.
It's like a power of attorney.
Yeah, I came from Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, to Tennessee for that. So, and my parents returned to Leavenworth. So there had to be some kind of custody agreement in place. But yeah, I was there for 2006, 2007. I was 16, 17 years old. And then my parents brought me back. But instead of going home to Kansas, we had been moved duty stations because my family was military. So then we were back to Bragg, and I had finished high school, but I never got a high school diploma from anyone. No one gave me a high school diploma. So I had to, I was already enrolled or could start taking college classes, but the IFB group or church that we were at there, Northview, was like, well, we're not going to let her just take, 2 or 3 classes a day. She's going to have to go like 8 hours a day to redo her senior year. So that didn't last long. I did get expelled from there as well. And then I don't really know how I was able to just continue on in college. I don't want to like ruin my.
That's what I was going to ask.
I want to be really careful here because I did transfer colleges a lot. But there is a lot of question for me about that, which I just thought would be a great thing to talk about because it's something that they brought up in the program, which I know like that's on Netflix, and I just think it's going to get a lot of attention. So like this stuff goes on and it does all tie together into like, how do they get these kids like in like IFP communities and stuff like that. So I wanted to mention that, but yeah, that's my story, a little bit of it. I feel y'all go ahead, take the show now.
Yeah. So a couple things, Kayla, I know when you went to college, I know you went to Bob Jones University.
Oh yeah, I
well,
forgot about Bob Jones.
I forgot you went to Bob Jones.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
after I went to Clearwater.
So yeah, I was able to transfer. I was at a legit college in Fayetteville, and then I was still like, I came out of the Haven, like really wanting to like be about that life and like wanting to follow and try to give whatever my parents wanted for me a chance. So I applied to Bob Jones University. I did get into that. And at that point I was scared about my diploma. I knew I had an issue, obviously at minimum, and I wanted to go to like a real university and I didn't know how that was going to happen. So I went from community college in my hometown and then to Bob Jones University for a semester. And I went to Bob Jones for 2 reasons. That was the only way my parents were going to sign over the title to my car. And that was the only way I could think that I was going to be able to transfer to another university without, going through what I went through at minimum. I don't know. I do.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was that. But yeah, Bob Jones was so fun. I had a lot of fun at Bob Jones.
I can only imagine. Yeah.